It's my last week in the ICU.
Hi.
Hi. Hi guys. We are on for the next 24 hours. Welcome to my crib. This is the life we chose. Nice. This is my hydration status. I am the only doctor on this floor right now. Welcome back, vlog. It's time for another week in residency and my last week in the ICU. Let's get it. Hi, Chippy. Hi, Chewy. Hi, Buttery. I know ya. Fit check of the day. Let's go to work. Welcome back, vlog. It's my last week in the ICU. Super bummed, actually. I didn't actually feel like I'd be sad to be finishing this rotation, but here we are. Gonna enjoy it while I can. I've got a call shift on Wednesday and my next day off is Sunday. So it's my last week, but it's gonna be a long one. Let's get it. All right, guys, crazy enough, I'm actually already done for the day. It's like 1 o'clock. I didn't even have time to like eat my lunch that I brought, but our patient census is actually looking pretty good. And for how many of us that are on the team, it didn't make sense for us all to stay all day. And I'm not the late resident, I'm not the call resident tonight. So I was able to get out of here a little bit early, and my co-resident that's still there, he's on tonight, so it just made sense for him to stay, and that'll be me Wednesday. So the world is all about balance. Really stoked. Great way to start the week. In last week's vlog, I was telling you guys that some of my best friends from Las Vegas moved to San Diego this past weekend, which they did. I helped them move in throughout the weekend, and so now I can actually go meet up with them, which will be really fun. Super excited that my community here in San Diego is growing with old friends, which is just a remarkable thing. Anyway, we didn't have a lot of time to chat earlier in the vlog, but again, this is my last week of Neuro Critical ICU. Kind of bummed, more bummed than I ever thought I would be, and I am heavily considering critical care, maybe specifically neurocrit, as a fellowship option. We'll see how I feel at the end of the week. I've got my last call shift on Wednesday and no days off between now and next Sunday besides my post-call day on Thursday. So we've got a long week ahead of us. Hopefully not a whole lot of late days besides, you know, my call shift on Wednesday. For now, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my Monday. Hey guys, hey yo! I missed you. Num 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 num. Hey, you guys are getting crumbs everywhere. Marie looks like such a princess when she eats her treats. Getting to play video games at 2 in the afternoon with your friends is something you don't get to do a lot in residency, so you gotta take advantage of it when you can. Nice, one shot.
It's
Some of that raw, baby.
It's corn.
Yo, happy Tuesday. Yesterday was such an ideal after work day. Like, I went home, had some lunch, played some video games, and then I went tricking with my friend Shannon, who just moved from Vegas. And then we had dinner, and it was just like exactly the kind of day I'd want to have after being at the hospital. I wish every day could be like that, but unfortunately it can't. But that's just the life we chose, baby. Let's have a good day. All right, guys, we are done already. Sorry, not a lot of intra-hospital vlogging this week. So far, it's just been getting there, doing rounds, doing some post-round teaching lectures, and then I've been able to get out of here pretty early in the afternoon yesterday and today. So not a lot of vlogging opportunities while I've been here at work. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm done for the day really early again, 2 days in a row, which is great because I have my last 24-hour call tomorrow, which is pretty wild. I remember when I first started vlogging this neuro ICU rotation and I had my first call shift and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. And now tomorrow's my last one. I feel like the month has just flown by so fast. And I also kind of hate how much I've kind of liked it. Like, I'm really gonna need someone to talk me out of doing an ICU fellowship, because every single time I've done ICU, both months during intern year, if you guys remember, and now this month, I've ended up really enjoying it. So, I don't know. Might be a sign I gotta do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day, so I'll catch you guys later. All right, we're here with Shannon. What's that? Shannon's first run on the beach since moving to San Diego. How you liking it?
It's good. It's cool.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Hitting a little 3-mile run since we had the evening off. Let's get it.
At some point, we were just going fast enough,
Nice.
but I had to stop.
Hi.
Camera quality looks really good right now for some reason.
Lighting.
Hi.
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 Hi. Hi.
Your choice. These tacos are loaded.
No, we should do that again. Okay, fine.
All right, so if any of you guys have been watching my vlogs for a while, then you know the bane of my existence is grocery shopping and cooking meals at home. My excuse is that residency doesn't really leave me a whole lot of time to cook, which is why I've been using Tempo by Home Chef, and they're actually the sponsor of this week's vlog. Tempo is a weekly meal delivery subscription that serves up fresh, fully prepared, single-serving meals that cook in just 2 minutes. Their chef-crafted menus are dietitian approved, and every week you can pick from 24 plus rotating options delivered right to your door. You're getting meals that are made from real ingredients that you would have in your own fridge, maybe not my fridge, but your fridge, so you don't have to worry about the hassle of grocery shopping and meal prepping. Their menu also includes mindful choices, like protein-packed meals with 30 plus grams of protein, calorie-conscious meals with 500 or fewer calories, and fiber-rich meals with at least 20% of your daily fiber. Having all of those options makes it super easy to support your healthy lifestyle. No chopping, no dishes, just flavorful meals. Again, they heat up in just 2 minutes in the microwave and fit so well into a busy schedule, which is all a resident could ever want. So if you guys want to check out Tempo, make sure to click the link in my description box, or you guys can scan the QR code here on the screen. And you guys can use my coupon code Sean60 to get 60% off of your first Tempo box, which is a wild discount. Make sure to take advantage of that 60% off. Again, they've got a great menu supported by actual dietitians. They're super quick, super easy, support a healthy lifestyle. Make sure to check them out, and thank you so much again to Tempo for sponsoring this week's vlog. Morning guys, happy Wednesday. We are on for the next 24 hours. Definitely took advantage of my extra free time yesterday, got some sun, got a little run in, hung out with my friends, but now we're on for 24 hours. Let's get it. All right guys, not a bad day so far. I just got done placing a VAS cath, which is basically a large central line they can use for dialysis. So that was cool. We did it through the femoral vein, and now I'm headed down to the PACU to go see 2 patients that just got neurologic related surgeries and are coming up to our unit. This is the life, baby. This is my hydration status so far for the shift. 2 800-ish cc cups of water and a Monster. I could be doing a lot better with the hydration. The Monster definitely does not help, so I'm gonna try to drink some more water. Something I'm terrible at on my call shifts. All right guys, it's like 9 o'clock. I've been running around all evening. Haven't had a chance to eat. Luckily, got my Tempo meal, so I'm gonna heat it up and hope that I've got time to eat it. Look how good that looks. Bon appetit. All right guys, so it is about midnight and I've kind of been actually working a bunch today. So we had morning rounds, of course, And then after all that was done, we had to do a central line for a patient. Actually, it was a VAS cath. You guys saw some footage earlier. That was essentially me pushing the ultrasound machine, which we use so we could actually see the vessels. And then all that stuff in the bag was stuff I needed to place the central line. That particular patient needs to get hemodialysis, so we use a VAS cath, which, like I said earlier, is kind of just like a larger central line. So that was cool. I actually haven't gotten to do one of those since I've come to my advanced program. I did several during my intern year. So that was really nice that I got to do one of those. And since then, I've had several patients come out of the OR that I had to go evaluate in post-op because they needed to come to our unit for various ICU level concerns, things like neuromonitoring. Anytime you have a patient that requires anything Q1 hours, that's an indication for ICU. So if you need to monitor a patient's neuro exam every single hour, that has to be done in the ICU. You have to do that with ICU nursing ratios, which are typically 2-to-1. You can't just do it on the floor because it would be very impossible to follow up on a neuro exam every single hour. Secondly, we have patients that have very strict blood pressure goals. In the ICU, we can use medications on titratable drips to keep blood pressure within those parameters, but you have to do that in the ICU because that requires constant management and adjusting and titrating the drip based on the blood pressure. So a lot of different reasons patients can come up to us after surgery. We also have other patients that come up to us, not necessarily because they just had surgery. For example, I had a patient being transferred from another facility to us that I had to go see for various reasons. And so a lot going on. I've been doing a lot of notes. And then besides all that, we of course have to manage our current census. So been working pretty hard with our incredible nursing team to make sure that everything has been squared away for the patients. And so far, so good. I am making it in one piece so far. This is now my 5th overnight in the Neuro Critical Care Unit, my 3rd shift alone. And I think part of the reason I'm kind of making it a big deal is because I've never really truly been alone as a resident so far. You know, during my intern year, I would be on call, but I'd have other co-residents and stuff around, or I'd be on medicine. We have co-residents. When I was on nights, I'd have my co-resident. That was fine, right? This month has been my first experience where I'm truly alone in-house. Like, I am the only doctor, physician on this floor right now. I have an attending that is also on call that I can call, and if he has to come over here, he can. But physically, I'm the only person here right now. And that's not uncommon in hospitals. Actually, most services have residents on call 24 hours, especially at big academic facilities like the one that I'm training at. And so for me, it was just a bit new when I came onto this rotation, new experience to be alone. And it's just a crazy thought because just a few years ago, like 2 years ago, I was a medical student. I couldn't do anything alone at that time. Couldn't put orders in, couldn't even really see patients alone. There were so many people I had to go to even discuss my thoughts. And now I am here alone and people are asking me questions and I have to have some vague idea of what to do. And if I don't know what to do, I have to acknowledge that so that I can ask the right people what to do. That's a big job. That's a big responsibility. And that is a big part of the learning process of being a physician, right? And I think that this rotation has really made me appreciate that because I can feel a difference between my first day and now. And obviously some of those growth points were because I just got used to how things worked in this unit and, just neuro critical care in general. So I don't know. It's just fun to see growth. You don't always get to appreciate it in real time. And that's something I try to spread on this channel is that we should look at growth in real time, but we definitely don't always do that. I'm heavily considering ICU as a fellowship. I really am, but there's a lot of trade-offs, which I can talk about more in future videos. But yeah, I don't know. I still have a lot of other subspecialty rotations to go over the next few years before I have to make that decision. So I'm not going to stick to anything now. But in my 3 ICU experiences during residency so far, unfortunately, it's the area I've enjoyed the most. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, like I said, it's about midnight. I'm going to try to sneak up to the call room and rest my eyes a little bit because I'm getting a little sleepy. So I'm going to go see if I can get away with that. But I am on call. So the expectation is that I am here to do whatever needs to be done tonight. So if that means I don't get to sleep, that's okay. You can't expect to sleep on a call shift. You can only appreciate it if you get to. Anyway, let's go to the call room. Welcome to my crib. Crazy to think that I've spent 5 nights this month in this call room. I've got many years of sleeping in call rooms to go. All right, good night, guys. Good morning, guys. It's like 6:15 a.m. I did not end up getting really any sleep last night because as soon as I stopped vlogging, I had a transfer come in that I had to attend to, and then a bunch of other stuff on the floor, and basically could not get any sleep. I just like laid down maybe around 5 a.m. for half an hour, and that was it. So I'm quite tired, but I'm gonna head down to the unit, check in on everyone, and work on my handoff for when the day team gets here. This is the life we chose. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go, no, I don't wanna go, no. All right, guys. So it is actually Saturday night. After I left that call shift, I was honestly exhausted post-call. I literally did nothing all day besides just try to catch up on sleep. I could not function. And that's just how it goes sometimes. I've had post-call days that I can do a bunch because maybe I was able to squeeze some sleep in throughout my call shift. And then I've had other post-call days where I literally cannot be a functioning member of society because you were up most of the night and you got off work at 7 or 8 a.m. So you kind of have to sleep, which is normally fine, except I did not have a day off after my post-call day. So basically slept all day, relaxed, and then went back to work yesterday and now today. So long couple of days, but I guess the trade-off is that my first 2 days this week were a little bit shorter, so that was really nice. And that's kind of how this month has been. Like, some of the long days are really long. You guys have seen me do 5 24-hour in-house call shifts now, and I've had some late days as well. But then I've had other days where my team and I are able to get some of us out a little bit earlier, and that's just, I think, an incredible part of the culture here. You try to help each other where you can and make the hours a little bit better. Anyway, it's a little past 6 p.m. Everything here in the unit is pretty tucked in, so I thought I would take this second to vlog because it's actually my last hour here in the Neuro ICU. You know, when I was coming onto this service, I told you guys how nervous I was coming into a Neuro Critical Care Unit, you know, my 2nd or 3rd month of my anesthesia residency. I was afraid of not being able to handle it. I was worried about the 24-hour shifts, and all of a sudden you blink and the thing you were worried and stressed about is over. And that has happened a lot over the last 5 or 6 years. There's always something to stress about. There's always a new challenge ahead. But we've gone through all of them. And this service was no different. This rotation was no different. I knew I was going to get through it just fine. You just have to wake up every day, put one foot in front of the other, be ready to learn and grow, and that's really all it takes. Like I said a million times, I've really enjoyed being here in the ICU for a couple reasons. First off, the people here have been incredible. I've gotten very lucky and worked with absolutely incredible co-residents, fellows, and attendings this month. Lots of teaching, lots of education, but also just really good vibes. There are a lot of personalities in medicine. I'm sure a lot of you guys can probably imagine that. Got very lucky. Everyone here has been phenomenal, and they don't watch these vlogs, so they're not going to see this, but they absolutely carried this little CA1 through the month, and I really appreciate them for it. They were a lot of fun to work with, and they're all incredible physicians. A lot of our attendings this month were anesthesia critical care, so I feel like that also is a reason I've been really considering Neuro Crit, because of them, right? Like, seeing anesthesiologists go into this field makes you kind of able to see yourself in it. So really grateful for the attendings I had this month. And I also definitely have to shout out the nursing staff as well as everyone else that works in this unit, the PTs, RTs, SLP, literally everyone that works up in the ICU has been incredible this month. Again, I don't think any of them watched this, but you know, the ICU compared to, I feel like, every other area of the hospital needs to be such a tight unit. Everyone needs to communicate so much and also just kind of get along well for optimal patient care to happen. And that's the experience I had during my intern year at my prior hospital. That's also the experience I had here this month. I feel like everyone here was amazing. All of the nursing staff, which I'm going to say the nursing staff because we just work the closest with them and we're with them all day, every day, have been amazing here at my program. Some of the best nurses I've ever worked with, a lot of great communication. They were very welcoming to me this month and having me in their ICU, and that really made a big difference. So I just want to shout out, again, not just the nurses, but co-residents, fellows, attendings, and literally every other staff member I've worked with in this ICU. You guys have made it an incredible month. But working in the ICU itself has also just been a great experience. I really enjoy ICU level care. I feel like I keep kind of circling back to it. Something one of my attendings said this month has really stuck in my head, and it's that as an anesthesiologist, we are functionally an intensivist every single day of our careers. Because when we're in the OR, we are essentially managing an ICU level patient. It makes a lot of sense because in the OR, we have a patient that's intubated, we're pushing medications, drips, things like propofol, sedatives, pushing pressors like vaso, levo. We're tightly monitoring that patient as far as their airway, breathing, circulation, hemodynamics, everything. And that's what patients come to the ICU for, right? Is very close monitoring for whatever the reason is. It has to be ICU level. So when we're in the OR, we are functionally an intensivist for every single second we are with that patient. We're physically doing things that are going to take care of them, whether it's securing airways, lines, pushing medications, adjusting things. That's ICU. That's what it is. So that was a really cool perspective, and I really liked it. And I feel like that also is swaying me towards maybe becoming an intensivist, because he was right. That's what we do every day as anesthesiologists. But I still have a long path of training ahead of me. This is still just the start of my anesthesia training here in San Diego. So I'm not going to commit myself to anything just yet, but I will have it in the back of my mind over the next year or so. Anyway, I start a new rotational Monday, so I'll tell you guys about it in next week's vlog. Speaking of which, this vlog needs to go up tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna end it here so I can work on editing it tonight and having it ready for you guys tomorrow. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for another week in residency and for making it through a month in the ICU with me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.